Yo, 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 what up, y'all? It's your boy Rob coming back at you once again with another live stream. So before we get started, you already know what to do. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice. Smash the like button, share this video out to all of your followers, and let's get it cracking. All right. So shouts out to everybody that's in the building early. Got my homegirl Abby Normal in the house. What up with it, Abby? You guys already know what to do. We got that goal of 100 likes per video, so help your boy out with that. As you guys come in, bang that like button. All right, drop a line, say what's up, share the video out to all of your followers. If you're not subscribed to the backup channels, make sure you take a moment and do that. Hit the description box and the about section of the page. Follow my other social media and make sure that you follow the backup channels. And if you see any information or articles that are noteworthy that you would like to see content done about, y'all already know what to do. Hit your boy up. For people who enjoy the content and are interested in supporting the channel, the link for Patreon is pinned in the chat. Patreon is only $5.99 a month, and it definitely helps us to create steps at moving towards independence. Because once we get to that point of independence, there is no turning back. All right. So, Herschel Walker looks like he's the father again. How many of you guys heard about this, man? He's got kids coming out of the woodwork all over the place. We got a baby here, got a baby there, got a baby every damn where. That's right. Oh, yeah. How many kids do it take till you get to the Senate of the oh? Oh. How many kids do it take till you get to the center of the tell me? How many kids do it take till you get to the center of oh? Oh. Yeah, that's the question we asking Herschel. How many kids do it take? Been a lot of places. Seen a lot of faces. Herschel put hands on females, caught a lot of cases. Shouts out to my man James Sumler. What up with it, bro? Shouts out to my man Flying Fish. What's good with you? So we got a intense expose / informative stream. Shouts out to Carla Lockhart. What up with it, Carla? Talking about Herschel Walker. Now, I don't know if you guys are aware, but Herschel Stalker is a habitual liar. We're going to go over all of his lies. We're going to talk about all of the illegitimate kids. And we're just going to see exactly what's going on. Because what I find fascinating when it comes to him and when it comes to Bobert, they are both extremely hypocritical. So my question for you guys is, what's real? What's real? Because everybody is pointing their fingers at everybody else and telling everybody what to do, and nobody's doing any damn thing right. Shouts out to my man Carlton Way. What's good with it, Carlton? What's going on with you, bro? So real quick, ladies and gentlemen, we got 5 likes. If everybody in here smashes that like button, we will have 16 likes. And remember, we got that goal of 100, so keep banging that like button. Let's get it.
Tonight, another bombshell for Georgia Senate candidate Herschel Walker. After initially admitting to having a child that was unknown to the public, it turns out Walker has 2 more children, according to the Daily Beast. The Republican speaks often on the issue of fatherless households, especially in the African American community.
Now, I got to ask you a question. Why do you think that this buck dancing moron repeatedly talks crap about the black community? Why is that? What do you guys think is this dude's dysfunction? What's wrong with him? Now, here's my question. How many people in the media, how many of his conservative buddies do you think are going to call him out for this hypocrisy? How many YouTube coons are going to actually make videos about this, questioning this? How many? Shouts out to Val Williams. What up with it, Val? How many, guys?
If you have a child with a woman, even if you have to leave that woman, you don't leave the child.
Right.
Man, that's a lot of raccoon meat. Look at that. That's a whole lot of raccoon meat. Look at that. Sheesh.
Right.
The son that Walker publicly recognizes has joined him on the campaign trail. The bond they have is one Walker says he treasures.
I love this kid to death. Yeah.
Just one day after acknowledging having a second son, Walker released a new statement today about his additional kids, telling NBC News, "I have 4 children."
Now, here's my question. Do you guys think that he's telling the truth, or do you guys think that he's lying about these kids? If you guys think that he's telling the truth, give me a thumbs up in the chat. If you guys think that he's not telling the truth and that he's lying, he's just saying this for even more attention, let me know.
3 sons and a daughter. They're not undisclosed. They're my kids. I support them all and love them all. I've never denied my children. I confirmed this when I was appointed to the Presidential Council on Sports, Fitness, and Nutrition. I just chose not.
So now we got a good comment down here. Shouts out to Digital T. What up with a Digital T? Welcome to the video. My man James Sumler says all of the black GOPers, their main goal is to attack black society. Now, what I find fascinating is a lot of these GOP people, these black GOP people, these are all lives matter people. So I find it fascinating that they all lives matter every other issue. But when it comes to negative issues, we have to isolate and attempt to try to point out degeneracy and put a black face on it. So what I'm curious about is, what do you think is the purpose of that? What do you think is the benefit of that? Who do you think actually does benefit from that? And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, we got 10 people watching and 7 likes. If everybody smashes that like button, guess where we'll be? At 17.
Not to use them as props to win a political campaign. What parent would want their child involved in garbage gutter politics like this? While he does support all children financially, Walker has reportedly had no contact with his youngest son, aged 10. It is not.
Now, here's my question for you guys. Why do you think Herschel Walker hasn't had any contact with his son? I got my own theory, but I'm curious as to what you guys think. Why do you think that this guy has a 10-year-old and he hasn't been in contact with that 10-year-old? What's going on there? If you ask me, I think it's because there's some issues. I think it's because the mother might have some issues with him. Shouts out to my man AB Promotions. What up with it? I think there might be some degeneracy issues. I also think that because Herschel Walker kind of has a little bit of a violent and shady past, there may be some court-ordered things in place that may be preventing that. Now, if you guys agree with that, give me a thumbs up. If you disagree, give me a thumbs down and let me know why.
Known how much contact he has had with the 2 others, one 13-year-old and the other, a daughter he had while in college. The former football star has been endorsed by former President Trump and is in a hotly contested battle to unseat Democratic incumbent Raphael Warnock.
If Herschel Walker had come out and admitted to this or acknowledged that he had multiple children even before he got in the race or months ago, this wouldn't be the story it is now. But because we're in the general election cycle, because there is so much attention.
So now my man James Sumler says it's because they say things that white people would get criticized for saying. Now, you know what I find fascinating? I believe that. I agree with that. But nowadays, there's more incentive for white people to freely be racist and just say whatever kind of vile shit comes to mind, regardless of if it's based in fact or if it's not. Because according to white people, they're losing their free speech. I don't know who it is that's taking it from them, but they claim to be losing their free speech. So if you notice, there's been an uptick and there's incentivization for white people to blatantly be racist. They equate that with bravery. So look at Joe Rogan, for instance. When Joe Rogan got criticized for using the N-word, he got offered all kinds of $100 million contracts from Rumble, especially. So I think that there's more of an incentivization. It really gets white people going when other white people, I don't know what it is that they're looking to show, but when they decide to just be racist as all hell, it makes them feel good, makes them feel powerful. I don't know what it is, because I don't enjoy harming and victimizing and attempting to bully other people, but they have a culture of that. So there may be some unseen value that they may find in those kind of behaviors and activities. But I don't think that it's really as bad in the eyes of the public, and including in the eyes of LGBTQ people and all of these intersectional people, the people from overseas, immigrants, migrants. They all come over and hop on the bandwagon with that. So I don't know. What do you guys think?
Attention on this race, and because frankly, he could once again decide to control the Senate, there is a lot of attention. There is not a negative scrutiny.
All right, Maura Barrett joins us now live from Washington. Maura, a second day of acknowledgments from Walker, but this isn't the only storyline that he's gotten ahead of. What else is plaguing his campaign right now?
Well, Tom, Walker insists that while he did not lie about his 4 children, he did make other false claims that have come up during this campaign. He falsely claimed that he had graduated from college and also worked in law enforcement in Georgia and for the FBI, all things that have not happened. And this was reported by the...
So now here's my question. Why would you just make that stuff up? I mean, like, what's the benefit of it? And this kind of stuff right here, you're saying that you work for the FBI and all of that stuff. My question is, he doesn't think that anybody can go back and check that? He's running for senator, Flying Fish. James says, so you're saying now black will get rewarded now. What do you mean, James? Can you expand on that a little bit more? Digital T says, I wonder if any of the mothers are sisters. What do you guys think? I don't know.
The Atlanta Journal-Constitution, the reporter there you heard from, Greg Bluestein, that we spoke with, said that this really hasn't dampened his campaign yet or affected his popularity, saying that this is still going to be, despite all of this drama, a very tight race for the Senate seat.
Now, here's my question. Do you guys...
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow...
Do you guys think that he's going to run and win, or do you guys think that he's going to lose? Now, what we have on this next little segment here, if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure it's Texas. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. Is Herschel Walker running for the senator in Texas? I'm pretty sure that that's it. So we about to actually not watch just a clip, but we're about to actually watch a video from Roland Martin 2.0, Dr. Rashad Ritchie. And it says Walker lies about secret son, among other things. So we're going to watch this accounting of a lot of the things that Herschel Walker has lied about. Shouts out to Faith Enlightened. What's up with it, Faith? So now here's my question. We're going to do a little bit of a Herschel Walker quiz in the chat. If you all know off the top of your head a lie that Herschel Walker is guilty of, type it in the chat, because this guy is a habitual damn liar.
Has lied about it all. He's lied about everything. Lying as Herschel Walker strikes again. Now, here's what I've done. I have compiled
Georgia, thank you.
Running list of the lies that Herschel Walker has told. You got to bear with me. It's a lot. He is probably the only person in politics who has lied more than Donald Trump per capita. We're talking about time frame, etc. Now, Herschel Walker, running for the U.S. Senate, slaughtered the Republican field in the state of Georgia, is now running against Senator Warnock, and some polls actually have Herschel Walker in the lead.
So it says that some polls have Herschel Walker in the lead. I'm not surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if Herschel Walker actually took this, if he actually won. James Sumler says, matter of fact, GOPs are out here getting rewarded for criticizing black folks. I misspoke. I agree with that. If you guys agree with James, give me a thumbs up in the chat. If you disagree, give me a thumbs down.
Well, the new thing, Herschel Walker says you got to be there for your children. He's tired of fathers not being there for their children, especially black fathers. Well, it seems as if Herschel Walker, according to the report that has been confirmed.
So, okay, I got a couple questions about that. First and foremost, he claims that he's just so outraged and he's so tired of black fathers not being there for their children. I'm curious as to how he feels about the divorce rate in the United States. And how does he feel about his children that he hasn't been there for? That's my question. Now, Another question that I have is a lot of times when people go to court and they talk to the court, they are not honest with the court about the situations. A lot of times people are not telling the truth about many things like income, about jobs, about family status. Shouts out to my man Kareem. What up with it, bro? Do you all think that Herschel Walker tells the truth when he goes to court, or do you all think that he's not truthful?
Herschel Walker has a secret child that he doesn't see at all. Let me give you the background. Walker said at one point, and I want to apologize to the African American community because the fatherless home is a major, major problem. Walker said in a September 2020 interview. On Tuesday, the Daily Beast published a bombshell report revealing that the Trump endorsed.
What he should apologize to the African American community about is the atrocious, traitorous treachery of the athlete, celebrity, and affluent class of black people. If there's anything that he needs to be apologizing about, it's that. Oh, and his contribution to the fatherless home.
Georgia Senate candidate and former football star Herschel Walker has a son he has kept secret from the world. What a damn shame. That's just one exposure of a misrepresentation and hypocrisy of Herschel Walker. Another story that came out just a couple of days ago, Herschel Walker claimed to be an FBI agent at one point in his background and also claimed to work for the Cobb County Police Department.
I mean, my question is, why would you say that? Why would you just make that up? He don't think that anybody could go and check that? Like, are you serious? And my question is, I mean, you know, if these political parties are as honest and as ethical as they claim they are, where is the conservative critique of this habitual lying? You would think that they'd want to work with a candidate that they can trust. My opinion is, from everything that you guys have seen over the last couple of days about Herschel Walker, does he seem like somebody that can be trusted? Does he seem like somebody that the state of Georgia can actually place their trust in? If he does, give me a thumbs up. If he doesn't, give me an angry face. Because my thing is, another thing that the state of Georgia should be looking at is he loyal to the black community? If he's not loyal to the black community, then how can we expect him to be loyal to the greater community, to our community, to the larger community that surrounds many of the black communities? Because when he becomes the senator, or if he becomes the senator, he's going to be dealing with black people in his constituency, but he's also going to be dealing with the entire area. And the question is he producing a trustworthy track record? The problem is that it doesn't matter if he's producing a trustworthy track record. The only thing that matters is if he's in line with showing anti-black racism, and he is. And I gotta agree with Digital T. If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up in the chat. He is saying things to make white people feel good, which I find it fascinating. Is there so little good to say about them that the only way they can feel good is to say things that are negative about other people? Is it really that bad? Is that the kind of squalor that culture is in, that the only thing that they can do is talk crazy about other people and try to find coons of other people's cultures to talk bad about their cultures to feel good about theirs? I mean, if you're really out here doing it like that, if you're really out here building society like that, if you're really out here invincible like that, you should have a whole checklist of things that make you great. You shouldn't even really be paying attention to other groups like that. Because if you're doing so well, you'll be involved in your own projects. But that's not what you see going on.
Herschel Walker said he worked in law enforcement. He did not. The Atlanta Journal-Constitution on 6/13/22 found this quote. I worked for law enforcement. Y'all didn't know that either, he said. I spent time at Quantico at the FBI training school. Y'all didn't know I was an agent?
Again, why would you just make this up? Shouts out to my man RG Titan. Shouts out to my man Jay. What up with it, Jay? He says, oh Lord, the Black Young Turks chapter. I know, right? Roland Martin 2.0.
Question mark. Oh, there's more. It wasn't the first time Walker said he was in law enforcement. The Atlanta Journal-Constitution found while reviewing.
I gotta agree with my man RG Titan. Dr. Richie, get your own platform, brother. Facts. Come on over to Blacklight, Dr. Richie. You know what I'm saying? It's like Death Row Records over here. We won't make you wear a shiny suit and dance. You know what I'm saying?
Doing dozens of speeches and motivational talks by Walker posted online. He also said, and I quote, "I work with the Cobb County Police Department, and I've been in criminal justice all my life." Now come back to me, because this is an interesting lie that he told. He said he worked for the Cobb County Police Department. He did not. Cobb County confirmed he never worked.
Bruh, just because you went to the county a couple weekends, that don't mean that you worked for law enforcement. Just because you might have pressed a couple license plates, that don't mean that you worked for law enforcement.
For them, he had no affiliation with them. His campaign came out with a statement that said, no. He was an honorary deputy with the Cobb County Police Department. Well, I called them yesterday.
Hey, that's a good observation. Let's elaborate on that. James says, y'all notice why Dr. Richie never talks about reparations. I want to hear what you guys think about that. James, what's on your mind about that? Because he never does. He does a lot of red flag catchphrases too.
And Cobb County Police said they don't have an honorary deputy system. Doesn't exist. Never has. They didn't suspend it because it was never there. His campaign lied to cover up the lie that Herschel Walker said. All right? And if you remember back in 2017, that was during the height of Herschel Walker telling people that he graduated from the University of Georgia with a degree in criminal justice and that he graduated at the top 1% of his class. He did not graduate at all.
Do you guys hear this? Thank goodness for his sake that none of those lies were used to advance his career. I mean, technically, I guess they kind of could be. I guess they kind of could be used to advance his career if you consider that a lot of these lies were told during his campaigning. Jay says, you know, he actually mentioned black wealth in the Democratic Party. He said that under Democrats, black people usually make $500 more a year. You still extremely poor, but you have $500 more. Oh, well, that's shit. That's, man, that you guys ain't happy about that? That'll fix everything. James Sumler says, because the Young Turks is against reparations for black people. Do you guys agree that the Young Turks is against reparations for black people? If you guys agree, give me a thumbs up in the chat. If you disagree, give me a thumbs down. Honda 666 says, sounds like Herschel was getting pulled over for driving under the influence. Do you know who I am card? Facts. Facts. And I got to agree because Dr. Richie toes the Young Turk line. So let me ask you guys this. What is the Young Turk line? Because in my opinion, if that's the case, then that's something that we definitely need to be aware of. Because I guess the question that I would have would be, why then would the Young Turks utilize somebody like Dr. Richie? You guys see Dr. Richie's channel is growing really fast. He's going to, if he continues posting and his channel continues growing the way that it grows, he's going to be close to 1 million subscribers soon. You guys got to get me to 1 million subscribers. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got to get me to 1 million subscribers. Right now, we got 20 people watching with 17 likes. If everybody smashes that like button, we'll be at 37. So let's start working towards getting to 37.
So it fit the first lie he told, that he had a criminal justice degree. There's more. In 2000, he told Irving, Texas police, the police now, that he was in fact, and I quote, a certified police officer, a peace officer, according to the police report. Now that's illegal, by the way. And he has used his alleged law enforcement ties to justify why he has had a gun, including a 2001 incident when Herschel Walker pursued a man who was late delivering a car. He said, and I quote,
why would you do that? Does anybody know why anybody would do that? Like, does that make any sense? The hell?
I worked in law enforcement, so I had a gun. I put this gun in my holster and I said, I'm gonna kill this dude. He said this.
Now, Kareem says use black agendas when it will benefit a non-black demographics. That's a good answer. James says to draw in the black audience by talking about white people, cops, and the Republicans. Facts. If you guys agree with James Sumler and Kareem, give me a thumbs up in the chat. If you guys disagree with James and Kareem, give me a thumbs down and let me know why you disagree. Now, here's my thing. Do you all feel that Dr. Ritchie talks about anything beneficial? Does he talk about anything that anybody would consider, quote, empowering? So now, what effect on black people are the Young Turks expecting somebody like Dr. Rashad Ritchie to have? What kind of effect on black people are they expecting him to have? Because there's a reason why they have the main Young Turks channels, and then they have a specific channel set up for him where he's got about 400-some thousand subscribers.
This at a 2013 suicide prevention event for the U.S. Army. There's more. Our investigation has uncovered that Herschel Walker at one point said that he was black and had rhythm. Here it is.
Watch this right here. All right, I want you to watch this and stay with me here if you want to do this, all right? Take a look.
I'm waiting for the nurse to come in and ask him if he wants some applesauce. Is this at the adult daycare? Are there bars on that window? You guys know? How did they get it? This is a HIPAA violation because when you're under the care of a psychiatric hospital, people aren't supposed to be able to come into your room with cameras. So I don't know how they got this footage. I'm actually kind of outraged. You know what I'm saying? This is patient abuse on the part of the Young Turks.
Watch this right here. All right, I want you to watch this and stay with me here if you want to do this, all right? Take a look.
Now, how come his nurse didn't come in there and give him a shot? Shouts out to Black Magic. What up with it, Black Magic? How come his nurse didn't come in there and give him a shot? Where's she at? Anybody know? How's she just gonna let him do like this? Nurse! Nurse! I bet you that's how his brain sound when he's trying to say a sentence and it just keep resetting like zzz. This is patient abuse, you guys. Do you think that that sound that we're hearing is like a echo, like an echocardiogram, like a sonogram of his brain waves? Zzz, like you could just hear it frying at the end as he's trying to complete a thought. That part, that shit just reset. He just thought about something and meant to try to say it, and that shit just blew up. Now you got to try again. He got a whole video game for a damn brain and shit that's constantly on the last life. What is he dancing to? The remix of Space Invaders? Shouts out to my man DJ Elmo. What's good with it, bro? What is this? He dancing to some music that sound like he getting cussed out by a fax machine.
I'm so upset. Not all these damn lies Herschel done told. That may be the biggest one. Maybe not. There's more. The Associated Press, 5/21/22. In interviews and campaign appearances, the former Dallas Cowboy Heisman Trophy winner takes credit for founding and sometimes operating a program called Patriot Support. The program.
Now, he said he founded this program called Patriot Support, and we just saw him at the nursing home. He couldn't even find the beat. He couldn't find no rhythm. His nurse couldn't find him, and he couldn't find no damn bib. See, I'm a father. Yeah. You so damn stupid. Somebody told your dumb ass you was the father 4 times and your stupid ass still forgot. Oh, there he is.
Herschel Walker says, has taken him to military bases all over the world. Okay, so let me get this right, Herschel. You're the founder.
So, Jay, are you asking who do I think writes Dr. Rashad Ritchie's program? This thing that he's doing here for the Young Turks? I don't know. That's a good question. Probably the Young Turks. Probably Cenk. Probably Anna Kardashian. You know what I'm saying? Probably people like that. DJ Elmo says it's old school electric music. Folks used to pop it and lock it in the 1980s. That style was popular in the LA. Man, the only popping and locking he needs to do is, you know what I'm saying, with a chiropractor.
Of this organization, that's a charitable organization, pro-veteran organization, and it takes you to military bases all over the world. Let's fact check it. He said, people need to know.
Now, this is what I find fascinating, what Jay says. Jay says, imagine him getting upset over Biden not doing anything for blacks. Now, you know what I've never heard him say? You know what I've never heard him talk about? I've never heard him talk about the benign neglect that the Democrat Party has been applying to to black people for decades. I've never heard him talk about that. Now, here's my question. My question is why? And I think it goes back to the original points that James brought up. And real quick, ladies and gentlemen, we got 22 people watching, guys. If everybody smashes the like button, we will be at 40 likes. So please smash that like button and help your boy get up to 40 likes. Shouts out to my man Speaks Facts Podcast. What's going on with you, bro?
I started a military program that treats thousands of soldiers a year. Walker told Savannah TV station WTGS. This was back in February. This is a more recent lie. Patriot Support is not a charity. Not a charity. It's a for-profit program specifically marketed to veterans that is offered by Universal Health Services, one of the largest hospital chains in the United States. Walker wasn't the program's founder either. It was created 11 years before Universal Health Services says it hired.
So let me ask you guys this. How does Herschel Walker just continue to get these continued passes on just lying? How does he get these passes on just continuously being allowed to lie? I'm just gonna lie. I'm just gonna lie. I'm just gonna lie. I think the only person in his particular party that has ever actually tried to do anything harmful or has ever tried to do anything dampering to him is Mitch McConnell. I don't believe that other conservatives have ever called him out. Marjorie Taylor Greene had a couple Karen meltdowns because she thought that Mitch McConnell was being too mean. My man James Sumler says they are two sides of the same coin, and I got to agree with that. If you guys agree with James, give me a thumbs up. If you disagree, give me a thumbs down.
Walker as a spokesman and paid him $331,000 last year.
Shouts out to Wigga G. Wigga G says, I'm writing Young Thug a prison letter. Does it go like this? Yeah. How you spell that shit? If you can type that out into the comment section for us, Wigga, I'll pay for your stamp.
Another lie. In October, Herschel
Shout out
Walker
to Gary.
told
What up, Gary?
a UFC-themed podcast, and I quote, I own a food company that's going to freak you out. I own the largest minority-owned food company in the United States. The Daily Beast reviewed the show. That is nowhere near accurate. They confirmed there's no accuracy in that statement. By the Black Enterprise list.
I got a question for you guys. Do you guys think that the Dallas Cowboys has a ongoing health care plan for retired athletes? Do you guys think that Herschel Walker has health insurance, or how do you guys think? Do you guys think that he gets any care, or what do you guys think? Because the reason why I asked that question is because it seems like he's long lost his 20/20 vision to be able to see reality appropriately. Jay says, I know Roland watching Dr. Richie like, who this new nigga think about Thunder? Right. Wiggins says, you lucky I can't teleport and punch you for insulting Thugger.
Walker's company is not even the largest Black-owned food company in Georgia. The Daily Beast asked the campaign for evidence to support the claim that the company ranks among the largest in that minority-owned category. But as of the publication of that story, the campaign gave no answer. There's more. The Associated Press also reported that Herschel Walker claims contradicts what he told the government in forgivable pandemic loan applications, free money.
Man, he out here doing PPP scams. He trying to talk about single fathers and trying to make black people look ghetto and trying to make black people look hood. And you out here doing PPP scams. You out here doing PPP scams, bro. In the nursing hood, popping and locking it all off beat. While sitting there counting them, oh, I'm finna count this money. While you sitting up there doing the Trans-Euro Express. Trans 1, Euro 2, Express, what come after 2? You remember that commercial with the owl? Mr. Owl, how many licks does it take till you get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? Could you imagine if Herschel Walker was the owl? Mr. Walker, yes, little boy. How many licks does it take till you get to the center of the Tootsie Pop? Let's see. 1, 2. 2. You remember the owl was like 3. Yeah, Herschel Walker can't get to 3. So it would have been 2 for his ass. Just like how he found 2 more kids.
Money. Renaissance Man Food reported 8 employees on those documents. That's his company, Renaissance Man Food. He said, I got 8 employees. But he told Fox Business in 2018 that he had 600 employees. When he went from 600 to 8.
See, I told you. He has a lot of problems with math. See, back in the day, back in 2018, I had 200 employees, and then about 15 of them motherfuckers had quit. So what's 200 minus 15? I think that shit like 3. So at the time, then I was working with 3 employees, and then I ain't had enough money to pay them, so I had to go get this PPP loan. Now I took the PPP loan and paid the employees, and then paid my taxes with it. So, Mr. Walker, how many employees did you have? Can you repeat the question?
That contradiction allowed for $180,000 in loans that were forgiven. Walker's candidate financial disclosure shows he only drew a $100,000 salary.
That is the way of the Lord. See, I'm a good Republican Christian black man. I'm a 100% American broken buck. I represent the broken buck party. And this is why in the Christian religion, you supposed to forgive and forget. Just like how these motherfuckers forgave and forgot about that damn loan I stole.
Salary from the company, which is contrary to the boast of him making millions based on his business.
Shouts out to Edward Berry. What
There's
up with
actually
it, bro?
more. For years, Herschel Walker told the same inspiring lie that he graduated at the top 1% of his class at the University of Georgia. He's told the story according to a review of his speeches by CNN's K-File during motivational speeches over the years. And as recently as 2017 on the record, the only problem is simply 100%.
Now look at this. Look at this. Shouts out to USA Army brat. What's going on? What you talking about? We wait, girl. I'm not young. I'm not young. I'm old man. But I ain't got dementia like this old man right here. Look at this. We live on the table 7 is actually being honest. Is it a trick? He says, Rob, my man, fighting the evil white man. Oh, he slipped up. He slipped up and actually said it right. Fighting the evil white man. Yes, because I don't have a problem with white people that aren't evil. It's just sad that they're the minority. Everybody, is a minority. They can add that in with the intersection crowd. I think they need to make an affirmative action for white people that aren't evil because they're in constant danger. You guys remember what they did to John Brown's family? You guys remember that?
Percent not true. He never graduated from the University of Georgia. He never graduated in the top 1%. Obviously, he never obtained a criminal justice degree. Walker said, and I quote, this is him lying again. And all of a sudden, I started going to the library, getting books, standing in front of a mirror, reading to myself. So that Herschel, that all the kids said was become valedictorian of his class, graduated University of Georgia in the top 1%.
Man, Herschel Walker's so stupid. If he was the only damn person in the class, he would still graduate in the bottom 10%
of his class. And the crowd goes wild. Herschel Walker no longer. It's a lie. All lies. Decades. Lies. To some, this will be comical. And I understand the gesture because you have to laugh, not to cry. Remember, this man was the top fundraiser for the Republican Party as a Republican candidate.
Now, my question, you guys, now see, and this is an important question because in my opinion, this is the kind of thing that people need to start paying attention to. How much money these politicians are making, how much money they're making in their fundraising efforts, and who's paying them the money. Now, we need to pay attention to this, and I want to make sure that everybody in the comment section who's a regular that comes here all the time pays close attention to that. Because what we're going to do going forward is we're going to pay attention to these lobby groups. We're going to pay attention to these special interests. We're going to pay attention to these private corporations. And pre-election, we're going to keep track of who pays who what. And once we pay attention to who pays who what, we're going to pay attention to the legislation that comes after. And if it's legislation that services those people that paid the money, then we have evidence of strategy. We have evidence of strategy. Now, who's down for that? Who's down to undertake that mission with your boy? You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to Wigga G. She says she likes evil Asians. I was about to say evil aliens. I meant evil Asians. You know what I'm saying? Thanks for telling us what we already know. Guess you don't understand the dog whistles. How's it feel?
In the United States of America, this man is raising more money than virtually anyone in the country running for the U.S. Senate. He beat all Republicans. He even beats a statewide Republican in Georgia that was already elected statewide. Politicians also bear some blame here. Politicians in general.
Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, we got 25 people watching and we got 23 likes. If everybody smashes that like button, we'll have 48 likes already, which is awesome. So please, ladies and gentlemen, remember, we got that goal of 100 likes. Let's get there. Smash that like button. All right. If you haven't shared the video out, make sure that you share the video out. Your boy more than likely will be streaming tonight from either Black Light Revelations 4 or Black Light Revelations news, reviews, and reactions. So if you guys have not subscribed to those channels, make sure you take a moment and subscribe to those channels, especially Black Light Revelations news, reviews, and reactions. You guys will love that channel. Check out some of the old live streams. A lot of interesting news that's not talked about. Got some very interesting stories that I have in the queue that you guys will find very interesting. Very interesting. And I got to agree. Herschel Walker didn't think that he would be fact checked. You know what I mean? Shouts out to, hey, Mr. Knickerbocker, what's up? It doesn't even matter. Warnock is still in trouble. I don't have any reason to go vote for him this round. That's a fact. If you guys agree with, hey, Mr. Knickerbocker, give me a thumbs up in the chat. If you disagree with, hey, Mr. Knickerbocker, give me a thumbs down and let me know why you disagree.
Because politicians have lowered the bar so much that liars like Herschel Walker become competitive in the arena of the industry known as politics. AB, thoughts on this?
Yeah, you know, I don't know if it's just me, but I don't think that Dr. Richie should have guests. What do you guys think? I think that the guests take away from the show. Dr. Richie is pretty good with his presentation. He's fairly, you know, comical, and shouts out to Nine Nichols. What up with it, Nine? When the guests get on there, it just messes everything up, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Now you have to actually talk in terms of where you are. When you say that they're an option, they're not an option. They're an ultimatum. So for whatever reason, I don't understand why an ultimatum in a place where you're allegedly supposed to be free is ever a good option. But there's not an option if there's an ultimatum. Those are ultimatums. And in my opinion, Republicans are no better than Democrats. Actually, not in my opinion. This is actual fact that can be proven. Another thing that can be proven is that the Republicans and the Democrats work together. Democrats create the insidious nonsense that Republicans then utilize to galvanize the public and buy into. And it creates destructive results for people who have no political representation. So So now here it says midterm roundup. Herschel Walker is facing a blitz of negative headlines. How many of you guys saw the video that I did last year about Herschel Walker and the allegations against him by his ex-wife, his ex-fiance? His allegations came out around the same time Larry Elder's did. So now here it says it's been a relentless week of negative headlines for Republican Herschel Walker, the untested former football star. Republicans are counting on to dethrone Democratic Senator Raphael Warnock. Now I got a question. What do you guys think these results are going to look like? Do you guys think that he's going to beat Raphael Warnock, or do you think that Raphael Warnock is going to keep his seat? What do you guys think? What do you guys think? While Walker had only previously discussed having one son publicly, he admitted this week, after 2 stories from the Daily Beast, that he had 3 others out of wedlock. Walker has criticized absentee fathers, and the story claims that he's had limited contact with at least one of his children. Now, do you all think that he's going to give any kind of explanation about this? Is he going to do any explaining? Is he going to give us any insight as to this situation and what the deal with it is? Are we going to get any of that? Or do you guys think it's just going to be business as usual and Herschel Walker and his colleagues will just act like this didn't happen? And just one day before the Daily Beast story, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution wrote about Walker's repeated false claims that he was a member of law enforcement, including an FBI agent. Isn't it a crime to represent yourself as a state or federal employee if you're not, especially law enforcement? Isn't that an actual crime? I could have sworn that that's actually a crime. The campaign points to him attending a week at FBI school and being named an honorary deputy. We should check out these articles from the Daily Beast and the Atlanta Constitution Journal. What do you guys think? Sound like a good side project? What do you guys think? I don't think that would be a bad idea. I don't think that would be a bad idea at all. If you guys think that we should investigate this further, give me a thumbs up. If you don't, give me a thumbs down. That's a fact, bro. That's a fact. So now here it says the campaign points to him attending a week at FBI school and being named an honorary deputy. That's just a few days worth of headlines for Walker. Just recently, he publicly questioned evolution. Do you guys remember this? He publicly questioned evolution and was accused of peddling junk science on COVID. Oh yeah, we're definitely gonna do a video about this. We're definitely gonna do a video about this just to get it all on the books, just to make sure that we have it all there. Because in my opinion, we need to have it all there because people like to lie about this kind of stuff. And these articles change and they disappear with time. So now here it says it's the kind of barrage that opposition research that helps explain why many Republicans were initially cool to his candidacy, and 3, maybe more to come. But in the age of overwhelming partisanship, amid a great environment for Republicans who will likely attack Warnock over a custody dispute, the $300 million question is, how will voters respond? So that's a good question to ask you guys. Even though I don't have $300 million to award you for your answer, what do you guys think? How do you guys think that this will affect people's voting for him? Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, Ed. Absolutely. We're going in on his ass. You know what I'm saying? We'll definitely go in on his ass. I should do a video on his ass on each channel that I have. Shit. Plenty of information out there to talk about. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I don't think we need to look at the rest of this because the rest of this is just talking about little things going on elsewhere in the campaign. So there's that. Okay. Next is an article from CNBC. Okay. And this is the article where they talk about this idiot having all these damn kids running around. You got all these what do you call them? Rugrats running around. That the fact that the Republicans got Herschel Walker, and that's what Republicans see as a black person fit to be dealt with by them, that shows you what they think about us. So just let that marinate. They see us all as idiots and broken bucks like Herschel Walker. That's what they're saying. Because clearly Herschel Walker does not represent the black collective, the black population. And they'll do whatever they can to try to make it seem like whatever it is that they're saying makes sense. Well, Herschel Walker is somebody that came from nothing and made something. Herschel Walker has an IQ of 2. Herschel Walker has an IQ of 2. He made something of himself. A fool. Sheesh. Why does he always look perpetually confused? He just looked like he's sitting there like, what I'm at again? Where we at? I hope not. I know you're not talking about my mouth poking out too far. My mouth poking out this far because I'm trying to share words of wisdom with all the ignorant black people out here that be having a whole bunch of kids out of wedlock. Herschel Walker, we just found out that you have 2 more kids. I forgot about them. Herschel Walker, former pro football star and current Republican nominee from Georgia for the U.S. Senate, confirmed that he has 2 more previously unknown children. I got 2 more kids. I just forgot what their name is. What they name them again? What's the girl's name? I forgot. Walker's disclosure is the second time this week that the candidate, who has been repeatedly publicly critical of African-American absentee fathers, has been forced to admit that he had children out of wedlock after the media reports their existence. Now, here's the funny thing. If you ask who's putting these things out, I think that it's Mitch McConnell. I don't know if you guys know, but Mitch McConnell has a lot of media contacts, and Mitch McConnell paid for a lot of things to be investigated and put out about him before. Were you guys aware of that? So if you ask me, this might not even be somebody that's a Democrat doing this, putting these stories out. This might actually be somebody within his own party doing it, because a lot of people are not really feeling him like that. You know what I'm saying? Real quick, ladies and gentlemen, we got 24 likes. I'm sorry, we got 24 live viewers and 27 likes. If everybody smashes that like button, we will have 51 likes. And real quick, guys, while everybody is in here, if you got a notification, throw a thumbs up in the chat. If you did not get a notification, put a thumbs down in the chat. Shout out to my man Tarek for making 28. Herschel Walker has been heavily promoted by President Trump. Now, why would Trump promote Herschel Walker? That's the question. What's the benefit in that? Why would Trump promote Herschel Walker? That's what we got to talk about. Herschel Walker, the Republican nominee from Georgia for the U.S. Senate, confirmed that he has 2 more previously unknown children, adding another secret child that the former football star admitted to earlier this week. Walker now says he has 4 kids, only one of whom was previously known. He just out there making kids. How many kids do it take to get to the Senate of the Oh? How many kids do it take till you get to the Senate of the Tell me? I bet you he can't. Walker's disclosure is the second time this week the former star professional football player, who has been repeatedly publicly critical of African-American absentee fathers. Now, let's pause, because how many times have you heard these articles repeat that? There's a reason why they're repeating that. Why are they repeating that? They're repeating that because they want that to stick into your head. They want you to become emotionally involved. Oh, he's talking about black people. Fuck him. They don't attempt to communicate with us with any kind of intelligence, which should be a very big signal to everybody that these people do not look at us as intelligent, which is a red flag. You never want to work with somebody who doesn't respect your intelligence. You never submit to disrespect. And everything in the political system is absolutely disrespectful to black people. According to the, and in addition to, and especially the tolerance of normalized anti-black racism, the tolerance of normalized anti-black double standards. That should never be tolerated. There should be repercussions that come with that. In my opinion, that should never, ever, ever be tolerated. So now here it says Walker's disclosure is the second time this week the former star professional football player, who has been repeatedly publicly critical of African-American absentee fathers, has been forced to admit he had children out of wedlock after media reports of their existence. Now, when you've been attempting to drag people publicly, when you have attempted to just show complete and utter disdain, shout out to my man Solo, what up with it? And then you get found out that you're doing the very things that you're criticizing others of. This is my question for you guys. How should that particular situation be dealt with? How should that be dealt with? That's the question. Until earlier this week, Walker, whose candidacy to unseat Democratic incumbent Senator Ralph Warnock has been heavily backed by former President Donald Trump, had only publicly mentioned his 22-year-old son, Christian Walker. On Tuesday, the Daily Beast revealed he had a secret 10-year-old son he hasn't played an active role in raising. He has a secret 10-year-old son. Shameful. On Thursday morning, the Daily Beast revealed that he had a third son. Damn. They revealed that he had a third son. My question for you guys is, why do you guys think that they covered it up? Why did Herschel Walker not say anything about this? Do you think that he got any benefit from keeping this under wraps? In the same article, the outlet also reported that Walker has a now adult daughter whom he had when he was about 20 years old and a star running back on the University of Georgia's football team. Walker's campaign told CNBC on Thursday that the ages of the children, as reported by the Daily Beast, were correct. So now these are the very people that say that everything is fake news, and they're forced to say that this damning information that came out about Herschel Walker, as much as they scream fake news, as much as they scream it's a conspiracy theory, as much as nothing that anybody else says is true, only what they say is true, they were forced to come out and say, you know what? This is correct. This is accurate. In a statement released by his campaign on Thursday, Walker claimed that he had not told voters about his other children because it would expose them to unwanted attention during a political race. Now, my question is, what about the child that people know about? So you're just worried about those three. You're more worried about the ones that you don't see than anything else. It's kind of weird, but whatever. It's not really the logic that most people use, but okay, sure. The campaign did not respond to CNBC's question asking how many women had children by Walker. I have 4 children, 3 sons and a daughter, Walker said in a statement. They're not undisclosed. They're my kids. I support them all and love them all. I've never denied my children. I confirmed this when I was appointed to the President's Council on Sports, Fitness, and Nutrition, he said. Walker added, I just chose not to use them as props to win a political campaign. What parent would want their child involved in garbage and gutter politics like this? So acknowledging them, just acknowledging the fact that they're alive, somehow throws them into politics? Yeah, Walker was a Rolling Stone. Walker was definitely a Rolling Stone. Saying I hide my children because I don't discuss them with reporters to win a campaign, that's outrageous. I can take the heat. That's politics, but leave my kids alone, Walker said. I mean, yeah, sure, why not? You did. You left your kids alone. Sure, nobody else will have a problem doing it. He said, leave my kids alone. I'd be like, what, like how you did? It is highly unusual, but not unheard of for the U.S. political candidates not to identify the children they have when running for office. See, it's highly unusual. So this isn't usual behavior. So when you see something like this and the behavior is not normal, that's when you got to start looking at things and you got to question, why are we behaving in an abnormal way? Why are you behaving in an abnormal way? In a 2020 interview, Walker, who is black, and you see, pay very close attention, as if nobody knew that, says, I want to apologize to the African American community because the fatherless home is a major, major problem. Now, there's many different theories and talking points about how the fatherless home issue got started. But what there's not talks about is how there's a fatherless home epidemic in every community. Now, pay very close attention to what it is that we all life matters. Months earlier, in another interview, Walker said men need to become fathers of the fatherless, children in neighborhood with kids whose dads were not present in their lives. And you know what's funny? That group of men that goes around crying about everything did not call this dude a simp, because they say that stepfathers are simps. But I guess because he's a black conservative is acceptable because a lot of them dudes are black conservatives. But last time I checked, according to the current definition under the current climate, what that's describing is being a simp. So now here it says disclosures about Walker's heretofore unknown kids comes as he continues to be criticized for making disputed claims about his business record and other aspects of his life. On Monday, the Atlanta Journal-Constitution reported that Walker had said in speeches and statements that he had worked with Cobb County, Georgia police, and also claimed to be an FBI agent. So we got a nice packaged list of all of his lies right here. A nice packaged list. I worked for law enforcement. Y'all didn't know that either. Walker said in 2019, I spent time at Quantico at the FBI training school. Y'all didn't know I was an agent. So, I mean, like, this dude is like playing and manipulating while he sits in front of the camera and acts like so slow, like he doesn't know what the hell is going on. Pay very close attention to that. That's nefarious. That's nefarious. Walker is not, nor has he ever been, an FBI agent. So, like, my question is then, what would he have gained from making up that lie? That's the question. Why? How would he have gained anything making that lie? How would that have helped anything? This is what they want. Liars that'll make white people feel good. That'll say anything. My man Carlton Way says he is an agent, though, an agent for white supremacy. Yeah, I agree. If you guys agree with my man Carlton, give me a thumbs up in the chat. If you disagree, give me a thumbs down. And if you disagree, let me know why you disagree. Yeah, he's an agent for white supremacy. Never was an agent for FBI. And as you guys can see, when it comes to white supremacy, they cheer on liars. And then when they get called out about the shit, they get butthurt. Well, we don't do dirty stuff like that, like encourage liars and encourage people to be disinformation agents in non-white communities and non-white spaces. We don't do that. Seriously, we're looking at it. This is why that mirror time should be maximized. You know what I'm saying? You should get all that pain of looking at yourself in the mirror. Look at the products that you create, like Herschel Walker. That's why they identify with him. It's almost like they're Frankenstein children. That's why this dude can be a complete idiot and they'll vote for him. So if you disagree, you need to give a reason why you disagree. You need to tell us why you celebrate liars, which honestly, I think is a cultural thing because you see how people celebrate George Washington, how they celebrate Thomas Jefferson. One thing that I never hear white people talking about is Thomas Jefferson's illegitimate black children. Why is that? How come that's not household conversation? I mean, if it is household conversation, it's probably household conversation. Like if you ever deal with a black person in a relationship, you're never coming back here because you're an in lover. I mean, other than that kind of shit, how come? How come that's never brought up? Well, you know, the guy that's on the nickel, he did some pretty disgusting things. Must not think it's disgusting. But then again, they don't think mayonnaise is disgusting. They don't think, you know, every day, not bathing every day is disgusting. So, I mean, it's, you know, again, cultural differences, whatever. The newspaper said that Cobb County Police reported having no record of involvement with him and that the FBI did not respond to questions about Walker. So again, my question is, lying about law enforcement, isn't that a crime? They sure did. Yeah, they've said that. They've said that. I think that there's something there's some kind of correlation between that rainbow and broken bucks. So I think that him growing up with Herschel Walker, I don't think that that would have the effect that being with a normal man would have. I don't think that dealing with an emasculated buck is going to do anything for the child's manhood, as you can see how he, turned out. You know what I mean? A campaign spokeswoman for the Journal Constitution that Walker has supported and worked with law enforcement for years. Look at this. A campaign spokesperson said the Journal Constitution told the Journal Constitution that Walker has supported and worked with law enforcement for years, including speaking to police about mental health and leading women's self-defense training and participating in the FBI Academy at Quantico. A spokeswoman for his campaign said that. So a sportswoman for his campaign lied. Shouts out to my man B1. I said shouts out to my man B1. B1, shouts out to my man Mike Mellis John. What's good with it, bro? So now here it says the spokeswoman also said that Walker was an honorary deputy in Cobb County, along with 3 other Georgia counties, but did not specify which ones, the newspaper reported. So what I'm curious about is, who is this spokeswoman for his campaign? And I don't think anybody said that being conservative automatically makes you a white supremacist. So now I have to question if you think at all. When we lay out the activities and the reasons why we feel somebody is a white supremacist, those are the reasons why we feel that they're a white supremacist. Nobody said because Herschel Walker is a conservative, he's a white supremacist. No one said that. We gave the specific reasons. And this is one of the reasons why we look at people like you and we question the capability of honesty and information processing. That's why. We've been live now for an hour and 17 minutes, and you still can't comprehend basic facts. As we've watched 2 videos about him lying blatantly. And now we're reading a list of his lies. And we also haven't even gone into the older articles about him beating the shit out of his ex-wives. But, so none of that registered. None of that scumbag, scuzzy ass behavior registered. The hypocrisy that he shows didn't register. White supremacy takes both sides of the spectrum. Which spectrum? Autism? Because that's what we're looking at in the comments section. The Washington Post on Wednesday noted that Walker's campaign in December deleted the false claim that he graduated from college. So again, another false claim. Because I can just make it up. So everything is fake news, despite the fact that Herschel Walker himself admitted to all of this. So what do you so you consider Herschel Walker leftist news? and Herschel Walker is not a good, respectable Black American. I don't know what you're trying to say. Sounds to me like you're saying that good, respectable Black Americans in your eyes are hypocrites and liars. And yeah, we don't rock like that. That's what good, allegedly, that's the standard that good white people hold themselves to. That they can say whatever they want to and do whatever they want to and kill whoever they want to and hold themselves to no ethical or moral standard. We don't like liars. So he doesn't need any defense. He should need a legal defense. But for whatever reason, the hypocritical blue line crowd is looking past the fact that he committed a crime by saying that he was part of law enforcement. The people in this video. Now, you need to answer my question. You consider us, Black people that you consider good Black people, are liars that have been busted out in lies. That's what makes a good Black person to you. A fucking idiot that can barely complete a sentence without a white dude rubbing him on his head. That's what makes a good Black person to you. What I find fascinating is that no one is surprised by that. You've literally validated what everybody assumes. So, answer my question. The white model of a Black person is a big, dumb idiot, a big, muscular moron with a pea brain that's a liar and spreads his seeds all over the planet and doesn't take care of his kids. That's your idea of a good Black person. Hmm. I bet you Peyton Gendron is a solid guy to you too. So then what makes him a solid guy? Give the criteria. Illegitimate kids, blatantly lying about his career. I mean, solid liar, solid piece of shit. Now, if he was stuck in somebody's intestine, he could constipate them. Again, Herschel Walker quoted this. He said it himself. So are you considering Herschel Walker a far leftist? As far as I'm concerned, you're the only person that has a value judgment or value standard on far left versus far right. As far as I'm concerned, far left and far right, they're political equivalents. So again, that's your frame of thought issue. Facts. Super facts, Mike. You keep spewing the cliche NWO liberal versus conservative garbage in our chat, dude. You trolling the wrong kind of Black folks with that BS here. Facts. Super facts. He doesn't think about Malcolm X except for the misquoted nonsense that he sees on Fox News. Somebody that empties a can of hair gel in their shit and pastes it down to their head, talking about, you see what Malcolm X said about white liberals? But you forgot about the part that Malcolm X said about white conservatives too. Because he definitely said something about white conservatives. It's the same way white people always forget about how Malcolm X, talked about gun ownership. And it is always interesting how they forget about how the NRA was an anti-Black gun ownership organization before they became gun rights activists. And, Martin Luther King and that speech that they like to regurgitate, and raisins get stuck to their teeth while they're doing it. I have a dream speech that they like to call it when it's actually called a canceled check speech. Shouts out to my man Izzy. That talked about reparations. They never talk about how Martin Luther King said, I think I went the wrong way about the civil rights movement. This immigration thing or this integration thing was kind of wrong. So what do you respect about Malcolm X? As if it matters. What do you respect? The fact that he was a redhead? Is that what you respect about Malcolm X? The fact that he was a redhead? What do you respect about Malcolm X? What do you even know about Malcolm X? I don't think that any white people respect Malcolm X. The reason why I don't think that any white people respect Malcolm X is because the generation prior to his generation addressed Malcolm X and Martin Luther King with the same kind of things that they said about Black Lives Matter, same kind of thing that they say about Colin Kaepernick, the same kind of thing that they think about any black person with a functional brain. White people used to call Martin Luther King Marxist Lucifer King. They said that he was a socialist. They said that he was a political disinformation agent that wanted to destabilize the American government. They called him a terrorist. And now all of a sudden, you mean to tell me that this new generation of white people respects him? That's laughable. And this again shows the inherent disrespect of how stupid that they think that we are if we believe such utter inconsistent nonsense. White people respect Malcolm X. I find that fascinating. We could find unlimited press, unlimited video, unlimited audio of white people talking about Malcolm X. And if you blank out the Malcolm X part, it would be indistinguishable if they were talking about Black Lives Matter, if they were talking about anything regarding black people. You'll get treated like an individual when your collective learns how to treat us as individuals. See, now, when I was talking about Herschel Walker and how Herschel Walker, the white supremacist black guy, talked about black single parents, he didn't talk about them in terms of individuals. And you know who sat there with their vagina-shaped mouth sewed shut? You. You didn't say, you know what, Herschel Walker shouldn't say that because everybody's an individual. But I'm supposed to treat you like an individual. Nope. You're just a spoonful of mayo that happened to fall out of the fucking jar. So until you guys understand how to start treating people like individuals as a collective, guess what? You're going to get treated like a lump. And there's nothing that anybody's going to do to make me not do that. And my platform is going to grow. And it's going to grow, and it's going to grow, and people are going to be pissed the fuck off. And guess who doesn't give a shit? The only thing that I give a shit about is consistency. I'm an individual. You're not an individual. You're part of a group. Just like everybody else is. You're a statistic, just like everybody else is. And you're going to be made to understand what being a statistic looks like, feels like, and sounds like, at least while you're here. And then maybe you can go back and tell some of your friends and some of your colleagues what common sense looks and sound like. No, I shouldn't. I should treat people how they treat me, which is exactly what I'm doing. That's what I should do. That's what everybody should do. Everybody should treat people like how they're treated. Let me tell you something. Just sit back and marinate and think about how certain people have treated other people. Now, what if everybody woke up one day and saw exactly who's been treating who like what and decide to change the score? No, I'm not a communist at all. I don't believe in white supremacy, like I said. Communism is a nonsensical class system form of government created by more white people that was used to oppress other white people and spread to other places that white people took over. I'm not a communist. I'm a realist. There's a difference. White people are the collectivists. White people talk about black on black crime. White people talk about black single parent households. White people come up with categories for people. That makes you not only a communist, it makes you an imperialist, makes you a colonialist, makes you a lot of ists. Your very favorite, racist. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And again, tell me when I've ever said every single white person commits crimes. What did I say when you first brought your non-functional brain in here? I said you were actually right this time. You said Rob is attacking evil white people. And I said, yes, evil white people, not all white people. So you just killed your own argument, which is what happens with white supremacy. You cannibalize yourself because that's what happens when you're inconsistent. That's how the cookie crumbles. You don't even have evidence that there's a God. Nobody has evidence that there's a God. And I definitely don't believe in a God that was used to brainwash people here that are like me. Yeah, I don't believe in the white Christian God. I don't believe in some white Jesus walking around in North Africa and the Middle East. Sorry. You got to show me some European evidence that Jesus is a white guy or Jesus is a non-black person. You got to show me some evidence that European organizations like the Rosicrucians, the Priory of Sion, the Council of Nicaea didn't tamper with the Dead Sea Scrolls. You gotta do that. You gotta do that. You gotta do that. There's no evidence that there's a God. You have faith that there's a God. And you have faith that there's a God because your feeble mind doesn't have a theory of everything to understand how the universe is tied together. People who believed in a flat earth when everybody else was wearing leaves and they knew that the planets were round and that there were more of them, those kind of people believe in a God. If religion has been corrupted by man and God is the primary purpose of religion, I find it fascinating that you think that God is isolated from that corruption. You really are an illogical creature. Fascinating. You have faith. You clearly don't know your own Bible. Even Jesus had faith. Go read the Sermon on the Rock. You don't have a brain. There's no evidence of that either because you don't display any intelligence here. And I haven't seen a CT scan of your skull to know if there's evidence. Is there anything other than a vacuum or air between your two ears? Because again, you don't show any evidence of brain function in here. The only thing that you show evidence of is that you can tie your hands behind your back and bang your head on the keyboard and sometimes get lucky and spell things with it. That's the only thing that you show. That's what the evidence shows. That's what the evidence shows. You can't answer simple questions. You can't connect logic. The only thing that you can do is repeat talking points. Just the simple fact that you believe in something without evidence is suspect. And you're the kind of person that will call somebody a sheep, which I find fascinating. I find that shit fascinating. Now, another thing that I find fascinating, how is it that the people that established the United States based on a quote unquote Christian God? But the people that established the United States were also Freemasons. Now, if you know anything about Freemasonry, you don't necessarily have to believe in a God. When it comes to Freemasonry, the practice of Freemasonry is the religion. Oh, I can tell you that God doesn't exist. I can tell you that there's no evidence of God. I'll tell you that you can't prove God. You tell me some little story about you surviving a car accident because you had a seatbelt on or something dumb like that. Now, if God was so important, then why did these people separate church and state? Listen to this dude down here crying about God. But the very people that he props up separated church and state. No, it's not my opinion. There's no evidence of God. Yeah, you do. You know why you do? Because I'm white and I say so. Doesn't fly here. You have no evidence of God. You have no evidence of supernatural. The only thing you have is your hurt little feelings that your pea brain doesn't understand the way that nature works, the way that the universe works. No one has ever been or measured or been able to find a limit of the universe. And actually, the current models don't show that the universe is infinite. The current models show that the universe is finite. Why the fuck would I believe that the universe is infinite if it started with a big bang, allegedly? With a big bang, there's a measurable amount of mass and a measurable amount of energy, which means that there's constraints, which means that it's a finite amount. If you can concentrate everything into one little point, and that one little point imploding on itself caused the explosion that created the expansion that caused the Big Bang, why would anybody with a basic common sense of math and geometry think that that's infinite? It's not. Separation of church and state. And again, you're the one that made the positive claim that there's a God, and I'm telling you that there's no evidence. I didn't make a positive claim that the universe was infinite. You asked me about it, and white physicists made theories that have some kind of assumptions. But most of those assumptions don't assume that the universe is infinite. I don't need to answer any questions about the universe because I didn't make any claims about the universe. You need to answer claims about your God. Where's the proof? You don't respond by asking me about something that I didn't make a claim of. And I'm not going to answer that because I didn't make that claim. You need to answer about your God that's indicative of your human limitations of not being able to understand the damn thing. Why would I answer a question about the universe that I didn't make a claim to? This is pathetic intellectual gymnastics. I never made any claims about the universe. You made a claim about God. Be responsible. Pull yourself up by the bootstraps. wipe the egg off of your face and prove God. Do something that no man has ever done before. I mean, you're white. You should be able to do it with it. No effort. So I find that fascinating. You don't think that you need evidence. The United States is allegedly based off of God, right? Well, since it's based off God, why is it that courts need evidence? Everything else needs evidence. No, I'm not going to answer your question. For one, this isn't your show. And for two, I didn't make that claim. So no, I don't need to answer that question. And again, I've never studied or claimed to study the universe to the capacity that I would know the volume of the universe. That's insane. Only somebody like you would do something like that. Separation of church and state. The separation of church and state is a philosophic and jurisprudential concept defining political distance and the relationship between religious organizations and the state. Now, I find this fascinating because you have to ask yourself the question, why is it that the United States is blaming non-white people for the removal of religion from institutions when, as you can see right here, the separation of church and state that occurs at a constitutional level automatically removed religious institutions from the state? Make that make sense. Make it make sense. Now, here's a video about the decline of the United States. And pay very close attention because this unaccountable worm, Oliver North, is crying about God, which I don't know what kind of God Oliver North could worship. How could Oliver North worship a God based on all of the crimes and atrocities that he's done all over the planet, right here in the United States, in North America?
Well, we didn't promise everything. Everything we promised, we delivered on. And that's what the world is looking for. And so whether it's the Chinese Communist Party's moves against Taiwan or the Russians' moves in Europe or the Iranians' efforts to continue to build out their nuclear enrichment program and their weapons program, this is what rogue nations, bad actors, dictators will do when you walk away from the fundamental maxim of Ronald Reagan, which is...
So what I find fascinating is that this dishonest guy right here is sitting here literally acting as if he's not describing the United States. And this is that hypocrisy that I'm talking about. This is that brazen hypocrisy and nonsense. The critical lack of inaccountability. Pay very close attention. You're watching it in real time.
We win, they lose. When you show weakness, when you say we're back and you really go back to Barack Obama, these are the kind of things you will see, and America will be less secure.
And that was former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo with me here back in December, warning us that weak foreign policy would embolden our enemies. We are now, 6 months later, talking about a war on Ukraine from Russia, and our adversaries on the march, including the Chinese Communist Party and Iran. We are talking about that this morning with a special guest, and I want to talk to you about Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North.
Now, think about this. This is what's fascinating. The United States thinks that it's just so superior. The United States just thinks that it runs the world, and it should be able to determine and dictate who it is that makes nuclear weapons. What's going on, KO Kid Fit? Do you all think that the United States should be allowed to determine who it is that makes nuclear weapons? Should the United States be able to dictate how other countries defend themselves, especially when in most cases it will be from the United States that other countries have to defend themselves? Who do these people think they are? That's the question. Who do these people think they are?
He is joining me right now on America's foreign policy. He is a decorated military veteran out with a new book. He was embedded with 66 different units over 17 years. And his new book, Tragic Consequences, The Price America is Paying for Rejecting God and How to Reclaim Our Culture for Christ, explores what's...
So this is it right here. So again, what they're assuming is they're saying that somehow this God and rejecting God and all of this stuff, this God is the reason why America's falling. God was such a priority that they separated church and state. That's how big of a priority God was. You want to know what else comes with God? At least this God. Let's talk about a lot of these cultural issues. Let's talk about a lot of these cultural issues. I mean, it's just all over the place, and there's no accountability. When Mormons aspire to be a white and delightsome people, these people use the Bible and weaponize it against non-white people. They believe that if you are not white, that you're cursed and you bear the mark of Cain. Complete insanity. But this is one of the reasons why white people want to maintain these Christian identities, because that justifies the anti-black racism. Let's see what else they said. Just made up nonsense. A culture of just made up nonsense. Manifest dynasty, another concept that came straight out of Christianity. This is the justification to just kill whoever the fuck you want and squat. What does manifest dynasty mean? The phrase encompassed the idea that Western expansion and occupation of North America was a divine right of the American people, where they weren't even American at the time. The American people at the time were the indigenous people that lived here. They mean of the alien people that were not indigenous. It was based on the belief that cultural and racial superiority over other nations and the obligation to bring civilization and enlightenment to the other races. Now, mind you, civilization and enlightenment to the other races who, while they were wearing leaves, had common sense enough to know that the planet was round and that we're not in the center of the universe. You can't make this up. The phrase manifest dynasty was coined by the journalist John O'Sullivan in 1845. The phrase manifest dynasty is most frequently associated with the massive territorial expansion of the United States, which it wasn't a territorial expansion. It was a hostile military takeover, and it's still hostily militarily taken over, which is one of the reasons why we have yellow fringes on our flag. That's why in every court, they have yellow fringes on our flag. That's why in the military, when you get in trouble, they call it getting court-martialed. If you have that question, what you should do is go to a black Hebrew Israelite, because they love talking to white people, and ask them. Now, they might not be able to tell you about Mormons, and what black people tend to not do is just make up shit about other cultures. But they could probably tell you a lot about black Hebrew Israelites. Matter of fact, they could probably tell you a lot about yourself. Destiny, my bad. This computer screen is super duper small. Well, that's your problem. You're a coward. Why would somebody kill you? The only people that have a history of killing people because they're different is white people. If anything, those black Hebrew Israelites should be on alert when you come around. Black Hebrew Israelites don't have a history of terrorizing white people. They have a history of talking loudly on corners. I think there's a little projection going on. I think there's a little bit of projection going on. Peyton Gendron walks into a Tops and shoots up a bunch of black people. Black Hebrew Israelite calls a few white people Isu, and you're scared for your life. But you guys are the people that claim that everybody else has cultural sensitivities, fragility. Really? Seriously? Are you actually are you actually serious right now? Let's keep it a buck. Well, most people, when they try to understand, they pay tuition, and you haven't. So you need to do some self-teaching. The people who stole literally all of the texts, everything significant to other people's cultures, literally have a lot of nerve saying that they need to learn from the people who they stole everything from. Come on. Seriously? You can't be serious. That, again, a complete lack of accountability, a complete disconnect with reality. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. I don't think anybody will ever be able to make it make sense, which is one of the reasons why it's so dangerous, because it doesn't have to. Yeah, you have. You're doing shit right now. You're stealing right now. You're stealing time from me. You're stealing time from my subscribers. You could be listening to something that'll make you feel good, but instead you want to come here and get abused. So get abused. It's ridiculous to me. Like it's fascinating. No, you feel abused. You get triggered very easily. You don't like hearing the truth about yourself. You start crying in the comment section. You want special lessons, like in a damn slow class or something. If you're so concerned and you care so much, you don't do any outside research. You expect everybody to spoon feed you. Now, I'll spoon feed you, but the spoon will be at the back of your tonsils. I don't know how many times I have to tell you, I don't care what you think about me. I don't care what anybody thinks about me. I'm not here to give a fuck what anybody thinks about me. You don't need to repeatedly tell me that you think I'm interesting, you think I'm cool. It wouldn't matter if you thought that I was God. I don't care. Just like how your God, if it actually exists, doesn't care either. That's why it wiped humanity out so many times in that myth that you call the Bible. Every time humanity thought it was about to go somewhere, thought it was about to go far, knock down the Tower of Babel, had you running around naked in a Garden of Eden. Allegedly, the antagonist of the Bible, the snake, is the only reason that you have the pea brain that you have. If it wasn't for original sin, you wouldn't even have the intelligence to know that you're wearing clothes or naked right now. That's your religion. The religion where the event that gave you conscious understanding of who you are and where you are is the reason you're cursed. And somehow, in your mind, that's logical. Somehow, in your mind, that God is just sitting upstairs waiting to do you favors. Man, that God's got a lot of buddies. And you know what those buddies like doing? They liked killing kids. Man, Azrael liked gutting those little babies. Imagine this. I mean, everything that the Hebrews went through, if those were the chosen people, imagine the not chosen people. That's your God, though. You know how they be saying, that's your man. Yo, that's your God, though. That's your God, though. You know what I'm saying? Good luck with that. Good luck with that. So I'll tell you what. If your girlfriend or your wife happened to get pregnant, and she said she just got pregnant, she just woke up one day and was pregnant, but it wasn't by you, would you believe it? Because that happened in the Bible. Because that's happening a lot nowadays, and people aren't taking it very well. Because I don't want it. Nah, because this account's not monetized. So you're not answering my questions about religion. Are you sure? So was Mary weak? Was Mary weak? Well, Mary was a special woman. No, she's a unique case. She's the only woman that had a, as people like to say, a miraculous conception. There's a lot of women having miraculous conceptions nowadays. There's no such thing as a miraculous conception. Just like there's no such thing as the tooth fairy. God is the adult version of Santa Claus. Something that you should grow out of. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. If you're not subscribed to the channel, you already know what to do. Make sure you hit the bell icon twice. Smash the like button. Share this video out to all of your followers. Make sure that you follow the backup channels, especially Blacklight Revelations 4 and Black Light Revelations news, reviews, and reactions. And I will catch you all on the next video. All right. Peace.